Alrighty, welcome. This is Rajat here from Startup Frat. If you can see me, hear me, just let me know your name and where you're from in the comments box. I can already see a lot of people join in. Miss Lalita, Mr. Sumit Paul, amazing. Miss Namrata Yadav, welcome to this live stream. Today is a very special day because today we have not a celebrity interview. We have something called a super celebrity interview. So the guest that we have coming in today has been touted by the rest of the community as a super celebrity. So in an age where on the digital side, a lot of people, they talk about doing micro niche, go very narrow, go, very focused. He is a super celeb in the sense that he has gone macro niche, and not only one niche but two different niches, which is extremely difficult. So he has two businesses. He has one business in the financial independence space where he helps people develop a very good source of passive income. And then he has a healthcare business where he is utilizing nanotechnology to treat advanced lifestyle issues, which even the medical industry also doesn't have the answer for. So he's got two highly specialized businesses in two different niches, and he is a macro niche guy, hence super celebrity. And let me just invite him to the sound of clapping. Let me help me to welcome Commander Pakash Thanwani. Clapping, awesome. I can see I can see the chat roll over here. Okay, let me just display the chat roll. Awesome. All right. Okay, we've got Miss Lalita, Mr. Sumit Paul, Miss Namrata Yadav. We've got Miss Ritu Sharma, Miss Dr. Kamal Kotwal, Miss Jignya Parida, Miss Namrata, Mr. Santosh. Awesome. Great to see all of you guys. Okay, so let me just okay, I can see the comments coming in on the chat roll. Let's also make sure that people who haven't whitelisted themselves, if you're watching this anywhere outside the Startup Hangout, you want to head over to startupfrat.club/Facebook. You want to head over to startupfrat.club/Facebook, and then you want to authorize your display name just so that your name can be featured, like you can see on the chat roll over here. Okay, so just authorize your display name so that your name can be displayed. You have people who are coming as Facebook user. Unfortunately, your name is not displayed. I would love to see your name and call it out. So just head over to chat.restream.io/Facebook. Okay, now let us come back to the main discussion. Commander Thanwani, welcome. Thank you for giving us your time this afternoon, this evening. You're a very busy man with two businesses, we call them multi-million-dollar in the US or year 8-figure businesses. Amazing. So real quick, before I go deep into Commander Thanwani's introduction, I'd just like to quickly update as to who are the people who are going to watch and gain from this interview the maximum. So especially if you are a post-retiree person, and if you're looking to boost your post-retirement income, you cannot miss this interview. I want you to watch from top to bottom, minute by minute. If you are somebody who's already using passive income sources, if you already have a portfolio of mutual funds, you have some stocks, you probably have some Bitcoin going on the side. If you are a passive income person, this is an interview you cannot miss, because this thing is going to blow your brains. When I heard it for the first time, my brains were blown. Okay. Then people who have to come up with a lifestyle solution have to come up with income options under duress. Like if you have a child suddenly going to the US, you need to prepare for that. If you have a wedding coming up in the family that you need to host, etc., then this is the ideas that you're going to hear in this interview are going to be mind-boggling. In addition to that, like I said, Commander Thanwani has a prolific healthcare practice. So if you are yourself, either you're looking at a health solution for yourself or somebody in your family, or you're a health producer, like you're a health coach, you're a healthcare product marketer, you're a network marketer with a big line of healthcare products, you cannot miss a single minute of this interview. So with that, welcome, Commander Thanwani, once again. Let's get started with your background before before you came to startup Frat. Just please come, please just explain to us your background before that.
Thank you, Dr. Rajat. It's an honor to be in your forum, and I really consider it very fortunate that you thought I am worthy of an interview like this. I'm really thankful to you. Uh, Coming
Thank
to
you
my
for giving us your time.
please. I'm from the defense background, and I'm from the Indian Navy. I will say, a hardcore submariner, and I joined the defense forces after my completing my 12th standard, and did my electrical engineering from the Naval College of Engineering at Lonavala. Subsequent to that, I was sent for my specialization in electronics and weapon systems of Russian origin.
Wow.
And on completion of that, 2 years course of that, I volunteered to join the submarine arm. And after doing my submarine training and escape training, I joined the fleet of submarines in Visakhapatnam. And with the kilo class submarine, we have four types of classes in India, and I'm basically a specialist in kilo class, and
Okay.
operated for a considerable amount. I've been at sea continuously on submarines for 23 years underwater. Uh, though with my as I grew in the service, I was appointed higher responsibilities of taking care of large number of submarines on the east coast and on the west coast of India as the squadron electrical officer. Uh, and in 2000, the Indian Navy sent me on deputation to Russia because we had come to a decision to introduce a missile system into our existing platforms. So it was a modernization project wherein from the same top tube that fired torpedoes, a missile had to be fired, which was over 1 ton more in weight. So it was a very big and very prestigious technological project. So I was made to undergo a very special training at the Ministry of Defense Russia to handle this kind of projects, and did one project in Russia itself of my own submarine. I spent considerable more amount of time, about 4 to 5 years there, uh, with a number of original equipment manufacturers, starting from shipyards to equipment manufacturers, missile system manufacturers, electronic control systems manufacturers. So after that, I was looking after the west coast of India, all the submarines which were there in the squadron. And because I couldn't be on board a submarine, I had to be outside the submarine at that post as a commander. Uh, so now instead of looking after one baby, I had to look after 10 babies. So the work was, it was wonderful, definitely. I really have always had a fantastic time, though it looks very scary from the outside. And after that, the Navy decided that they need to do the same project in India. So I was deputed to Hindustan Shipyard Limited at Visakhapatnam, which took up the modernization of the submarine. And that was a challenge because Hindustan Shipyard was not, had never done a project like this. So I had to independently get the Russians, get the Indian Navy, and inside the Indian Navy, the different departments, get Hindustan Shipyard all together on one platform to progress the entire project. Subsequent to that, after completion of that project, I was appointed at the shipbuilding center, where the first nuclear submarine of our country was being manufactured, was being built. And I was appointed as the senior naval electrical observer, and my job was to check how Navy was doing the work on manufacturing the submarine.
Wow.
So we launched the submarine very successfully, and everybody knows about it. Uh, After that, I requested for a premature retirement, and they didn't leave me very easily. And so during the course of my work, I was introduced to a number of technologies, including nanotechnology, but that was from a very different angle. It was, totally equipment based, and for example, how to strengthen the hull of a submarine so that the submarine can dive deeper.
Mhm.
And nevertheless, this technology is a very there is no policy on a technology like this because it has multiple uses. Now, if we say missile technology, that can be used only for the defense services for a specific issue,
Mm.
whereas nanotechnology is a very vast field and it has got multiple uses. The same technology that can be used to strengthen the hull of a submarine to dive deeper, the same technique can be used in improving the quality of a tennis racket, which will make it lighter, it will make it unbreakable. So that's the reason this technology is a very useful and no policy technology. I also had I always had thinking that our children are not being exposed to sufficient amount of these kind of technological advances, because what I saw there, I think for that to become commercial, it will take at least another 30 to 40 years.
Wow.
We are talking of a technology where you're going to fire a missile from a submarine underwater, you can't see. And when you're talking of the word missile itself is a weapon of mass destruction. Uh, you don't have a GPS, you don't know your position. How is the missile going to take off and land at the target? And say there is an error of just even 100 meters at a distance of 1,000 kilometers, instead of the missile going towards Mumbai, it will go towards Pune. So I'm sure you can appreciate the kind of technology that was being used for all this, and how are our children going to cope up with all this. So I always had this idea that I need to do something. And my wife also is very passionate about her field of teaching. She wanted to do something in that field. So we got into a children program with a very special purpose on whole brain development using abacus and mental arithmetic,
Wow.
and a Japanese program in mathematical application. How do you apply maths, at a very fast rate? And I contacted a Malaysian company with the help, which was under the World Abacus and Mental Arithmetic Association, and got a franchisee for that. And I started it. My wife was running it prior to my retirement, or prior to me leaving the uniform. And in a span of 6 months, we could get the children to such a state that my first standard child was competing with an 8th standard student in an open national arithmetic exam, where he solved about 50 problems in 1 minute.
Wow.
And based on this, I was not doing some great business, but what I was doing was of extremely high quality. And seeing this, our institute was adjudged the best franchisee in India.
Wow.
So, but the nanotechnology never left me. And then I pursued that. I was always pursuing that since 2000, since nearly 15 years now. And I was introduced to this by a very close friend of mine and a doctor also. And they said, this is something you will really like it. Please go through it. And I fell in love with it because I really like the way nanotechnology is being used for human applications at cellular level. That is the ultimate thing in a human body is the cell. And if we can find a technique, a technology which can, go and solve a solution inside the cell, I think there is no better solution to solve health problems. So I worked on this very, very extensively. It was actually a technology, nanotechnology, which was being used to produce scalar energy, a natural scalar energy, which could, and this is the only energy that can heal a human being at cellular level. Uh, I started working on it extensively, and I found the results are really fantastic. Subsequent to that, I then understood a few things uh, because in 2007 I had an attack of pancreatitis, and it was in working hours. It was about 9:30 in the morning, and being in the defense, they quickly shifted me between two dispensaries, small unit hospitals, and within an hour and a half, I was in the ICU of the command hospital. And because the challenge, what was being faced was, I had severe pain just near my sternum where the breastbone joins. So the first action anybody would, even I myself thought it was something to do with the heart. But incidentally, it was nothing to do with the heart because BP, everything was normal. And one of my doctor friends who was there, he understood that this is something to do with pancreatitis. And when they took the reports, and the reports came, I was in the ICU, and of course I was not sleeping in the bed. I was not on the bed. I was still standing because there were so many senior doctors around me. And the senior doctor came and told me, "Son, your pancreas are not damaged. Your pancreas are destroyed,
Wow.
and you won't survive in more than 2 to 3 days." So at that point of time, I thought, actually, I don't know. I found it unbelievable because when we work on a system, okay, forget about any complicated system. Even when we are using our two-wheeler or four-wheeler, it gives us enough symptoms that, yes, I'm going to stop now. You better do something about me. And I had just received only one symptom of the pain, and with very quick antibiotics and all those needles and all in my arm, within 1 or 2 hours, I was feeling much better. But there was no symptom like this. In fact, I was told to go and get an MRI done, and the facility was not available at the hospital. So I was told that we have to go to another hospital, and I went myself. I took the ambulance and went. I said, after all this, I don't think it is possible that I have to do a lot of work on nanotechnology. I can't go so fast. So, and then they sent me, of course, in the defense, they take a lot of care. They don't just leave you like that. They sent me to the command hospital in Calcutta because there was no gastroenteritis at specialist at Visakhapatnam. And I was walking, talking, eating, sleeping. And Calcutta was a very big hospital. It's the Eastern Command Hospital, an hospital with more than 100 beds in the ICU. And that is where I really saw action. Now, I went and I, settled down. And when I looked out in the corridor, I saw there is a stretcher on my left with a soldier. Uh, he had 4 bullet wounds. And there's another soldier who had, lost part of his leg in a landmine. Definitely a doctor doesn't have time for me. Yes, that is a very important issue. I had 3 months there, and this is the time I utilized to study how the body works. I went very deep into, and they have a fantastic library. I've never seen a library like that. I went into, and I was given the freedom to go around anywhere I wanted. So I spent a lot of time. But when I came back home, when I was discharged, the moment I came home and started eating home food, I realized within half an hour the pain started. And I knew that the quality control, there is a problem in the quality control. And then I started with my nano work very seriously. I cured myself in a span of about just 7 to 10 days.
Wow.
And I did a thorough quality check on my body. I would get, that butter chicken from the Punjabi dhaba, which drips with oil, the most dangerous for a person with having anything to do with pancreas. No problem. I started having ice cream every day. Just to see I need to know what quality is this repair? How good is the quality of this repair? And uh, then immediately started using it on my mother, who was a diabetic from 2000. And this story was happening in 2007, 2008. She was taking 60 units of insulin in a day. And within a span of 2 weeks, she had no choice but to reduce it to 40 units because she started becoming hypoglycemic, every third day. And subsequent to that, I realized that the scalar energy is doing its job perfectly. Whatever you eat is being properly metabolized and it is going in the right structure into the cell. The water is going in the proper molecular structure and entering the cell. However, the greatest challenge which I understood was that the food that we eat, the quantity of ingredients in the food that we are eating has considerably reduced over the last 40 to 50 years. And for example, if we take broccoli or spinach, palak, supposed to have 32% of calcium. Now, if you actually see, it's just got 4 to 5%. That's the production at the moment.
Yeah.
So, even if you eat the right kind of food, the deficiency is going to remain. Now, this was one area where, and it is a universal fact that if there is a problem somewhere, it is due to the deficiency of something. It starts with that. Then, once it gets complicated, then the story changes. So, I was wondering how to take care of this activity. And then I only wanted to focus on nano because I know it is going to be at cellular level. And with a lot of finding and searching, I found a technology called NTC, Nutrient Transport Concept. And this is a very unique patented technology which is a transportation mechanism that gets nutrients in the correct molecular structure, in the correct quantity, straight to the cells with over 90% absorption.
Wow.
And after it gets absorbed in the cell, the next important step for the cell is that the components of the cell, the mitochondria, the other components, they need to be able to use it properly. It should be in a usable condition, that it should be bioavailable. And this had over 95 to 100% of bioavailability. So this was the next step I entered them. And I found the results are really profound. Immediate results. The body hasn't seen this kind of nutrient for such a long time, and then suddenly it gets it. You see, the body has got innate intelligence. The
Wow.
moment it gets the right thing, it will heal itself. This is a self-repair miracle of God. And it is the most complicated control system that man can ever imagine. The type of complications that the complicated system that your DNA and your genes have got, uh, and it is not easy to damage a body. It is not easy. You can do. We've all seen when you can look back into your life how we've been damaging ourselves. But it is very strong, but it also has a limit.
Yeah.
Another challenge which the body faces is, for example, some of the vital nutrients like coenzyme Q10.
Hmm.
Uh, in fact, that has been now categorized as an enzyme.
Yeah.
So the body stops producing this, reduces the production drastically from after the age of 35. And this is the food for the heart muscles. It is
Yeah.
the food for cellular protection. And even if you take it from outside, not more than 10% is going to get absorbed in the cells. So things like this. So all this is possible with NTC. It goes straight. No digestion. The best part is no digestion involved in this. It is already in a miscellaneous condition. In a condition the way the body produces it. So it goes straight into the bloodstream, into the cells. So the results are nearly 10 times faster, consistent. And after that, I started working on, I still see the results immediate. At least 60% of the cases, the results are immediate. The balance, the balance was, I would see that somebody takes 2 days, then somebody takes 1 week, somebody takes a month sometimes. I was, I really wanted to understand why this so much of differentiation is happening, because these kind of nutrients cater for even a lot of DNA damage which has occurred in the body, the basics. So, and that is the time I found genetics. Now, this was another area which was, it was always behind my mind, but I didn't know who in India was doing it. And then I came across this Institute of Genetics, and I was very fortunate to get an appointment with the managing director, Mr. Stan. And I was really impressed because this project came out of something known as the famous Human Genome Project, which started from the 1990 to the 2003. The whole world, I understand, it is the biggest scientific project for mankind, a humanitarian project. The one of the main aims was to help further research and to help the humanity to ultimately reach a stage of a disease-free nation. This was an offshoot of that program, and I got very deeply involved in it because there is no more, you cannot find a more accurate, precise, and like Dr. Rajat says, laser, targeting of what your body is doing and why it is doing it. The DNA has got everything in it. It tells you all. You will be really surprised when you see a report and it will tell you why you have a problem, the root cause of the problem. Why do you behave the way you behave? What are the diseases that you have a risk for in the future? You have, it is the most accurate information you can find. And with that information, now if a person has a nutrient deficiency, you know exactly what to do to him. Uh, it is very surprising. A person has diabetes and he gets a genetic test done, and his test says that he does not have a risk for diabetes. Now, how is he diabetic then? Now, the problem is not that the diabetes. The problem was actually he is lactose intolerant or gluten intolerant. And what is happening is the lactase, which is the enzyme in the milk,
Yeah.
is going down and stopping the insulin resistance. It is not stopping that insulin from doing its job. You see, the way it is connected, or there's a person, he does his genetic report and he has lifetime calcium deficiency. Now that person is drinking milk perfectly. Every day he loves milk, drinking milk. He's eating palak, he's eating broccoli, he's eating everything. But how come he has a lifetime deficiency of calcium? Because the calcium is not getting metabolized properly. Because there is another enzyme which is not working properly in his genetics, in his genes. So, in a very simple way, every cell is the same, and it it is programmed to do a job for a particular organ. Now, when the cell divides, there is a mutation, and there may be some errors in this mutation, or when the information from the DNA is being given to the ribosome to produce this kind of enzyme for the body, in that transcription of the message there may be an error. So in simple words, suppose a gene is supposed to do a function and its spelling is CAT, and because of this error, finally what becomes is RAT. The C is replaced by an R. Now what do you have? You have the guys. This is a cat and this is a rat. Now both the identities are different. The characteristics are different. They do different jobs. Now the, we never come to know about it. We never come to know about an intolerance. We don't know why things are behaving the way they are behaving. We don't know that we are taking metformin for diabetes, but why is it not getting controlled? Because genetically your body is not accepting, will not accept metformin. It needs a sulfur based drug. You see the kind of insight that you have, and now it also tells you how to correct this RAT so that this gene starts producing the right, you know, enzyme, and your lactase, which we took the example, will keep quiet now. He will not disturb. And your diabetes is under control. Control, you don't have it.
So with your nanotechnology, these things are consumer can like eat it, or how do you deliver it to like the consumers?
These are all in powder form,
Okay.
and it has to be mixed with normal water and
Yeah.
drank. That's all.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Okay. And then it just starts acting.
Yeah, it goes into your stomach and it
Okay.
straight away goes into your bloodstream through the
Okay.
duodenum. There
All
is
right.
no digestion involved.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so it just goes in with water.
Yeah,
It doesn't incite the digestive response.
correct.
Amazing, amazing. So that's great. So it's you've gone, I think, so deep. I think you can see all the comments and all that coming like lightning. You've gone so deep into it that I think if you go to any university, they'll issue you immediately a doctor's degree or something. Honorary, yes, you're probably more expert at this understanding than many doctors that I know. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so this is great. Great to learn about how the body functions. Great to learn about how the technology works. I think we have so many people in our community who are either health coaches or they are health product sellers, whether it be a network marketing product or it be a normal health product. And I think what we are learning from you over here is that if you go really deep into the depths of the functioning, then you can pretty much make any product work. And a lot of good health products are there in the market. The amount of research that is being done by wellness companies today, I think over a period of time, it will overtake the amount of funding that is given to the drug industry or the drug companies, right? And it's really empowering the end user. The knowledge itself is empowering the end user, which we are getting from you for free today. But literally, this is game changing information, and very lucky to have you over here in the forum to be gaining such knowledge from you. Now let's quickly shift gears and let's talk about the other business that you have, which is you're helping people who are into passive income. You're helping retirees, and you're helping them to develop alternate income sources that are super powerful. So I'm sure there is a story behind that also. So we would like to hear it. That we would like to hear about how you are bringing this to the people in need of the of the alternate income or passive income sources?
Okay. So, see, when I'm very fascinated, like Dr. Rajat, with Robert Kiyosaki, and
Amazing.
the same book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Uh, my journey started from there in 2008 itself. Along with this introduction of nanotechnology, that friend of mine also gave me a soft copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was amazed at what he's talking sense, total sense. And being in the E quadrant, we are under a massive illusion. We are really, it's a massive illusion. Sometimes I used to wonder, people talk of from my, we all, grow up and we hear the word money and finance so much in our surroundings. And I used to wonder as a child, what is the difference between saving and investment? I could never actually, because people are doing the same thing and they're using the words similarly for both. Now, if you ask a person in the B quadrant, the story changes. If you tell him, I'm going to save money, I'm going to invest money in an FD or into a insurance policy, he'll laugh. And understanding this difference, uh, so this the thing is, when we earn money, yes, in a job, it is also our responsibility to see that and be financially at least educated to a very basic level to see that it is put in the correct places without any illusion, and so that it helps us in the future. Uh, my journey on this front also started in a similar way, and my father used to put some amount of money in mutual funds and insurance. I kept following what he was doing, because when you get into your job and other things inside the submarine, you're really not bothered about all that. You don't even know what tax is going, what TDS is happening. You're just not, you're in your own world itself. But I think every child today needs to be educated. At least he should be aware with the right kind of information. So I retired, and then just prior retirement, everybody has this fear. कि अभी क्या करूँगा मैं? What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Um, but I didn't have all those issues at all, because I knew one thing: even if I even if I don't have anything, if I have a tester and a multimeter, I can survive peacefully. And if I have a laptop and an internet connection, then it would be really very good. So I didn't have all these problems and these kind of issues. Yes, but what troubled me was, now what do I do with this money now, my retirement money? Because I was not that kind of, I had not prepared myself with so much of understanding of what are the instruments available, how to do it, what to do. So I I didn't do much with it. In fact, I used a lot of it for setting up my institute and other things. Now, as life progressed, and I ran into some issues with my company. I have a private limited company, and then I said, "Nee, I need to really get into this and understand, because my daughter now is uh, going to go to for her graduation, and then she will definitely would like to go abroad and study if she wants. But I should be prepared for it." And of course, I had done a backup for that in 1997 when my daughter was born. My dad suddenly one day told me, "See, my friend has come. He's got a very good proposal. Give him a 5,000 rupees check." So I gave it, and I pushed off to my submarine. When I came back in the evening, he gave me a piece of document. He said, "Yeah, these documents are there. Please sign it." I didn't see. I just signed it. He said, "Congratulations, you bought a house for yourself." And then I was stuck. I said, "I can't pay. What is the cost?" Was he said, "No problem. Unless you don't come under this kind of education, you'll never going to learn." So towards my retirement, I was thinking, yeah, suppose something goes wrong, I'll sell that house and send my daughter for education. But in 97, with 20 lakhs, you could go abroad and do a 2-year course, but not in 2020. It is just not possible. You may not even be able to complete a half-year course. So I then got down into understanding. I took the help of a bank manager who was very close to me, and I invested close to 3 to 5 months only understanding how to enhance what mutual funds I have now. Because I was looking at in multiple directions. The first direction was I need a monthly income. The second is if my daughter goes abroad, which I should start preparing today, how do I get a loan? And the third thing, how is this money going to grow? So what I did was I divided the entire amount into 6 parts, like the first box, the second box, and so on. Now I homed on to a very good mutual fund with consistent history of monthly payouts, consistent, no change to the paisa. If it is this month, this many rupees and 21 paisa, that's how it's been given. So I put the money there and I divided that mutual fund into 6 categories. And in each category, I took a loan against security. So I'll take the example of say 1 crore rupees, just for easy understanding.
Yep.
And so this 1 crore would give me about 70,000 rupees a month.
Wow. Okay.
And I could take a 50 lakh loan now on my own money. The best part is I don't have to pay anything unless I don't use that money. Because I don't need a loan now. When I need it, I'll take it. So this is the facility which I created. Now, as we all know that we need to cater for some emergencies, and being a submariner, I'm always used to that redundancy, because on a submarine you can operate a machinery in 3 ways. Okay, hydraulically, and manually. So there has to be a redundancy. So what I did was I put about 5 lakhs in an FD and took an OD on that, overdraft. So I had that emergency with me. So it's my own money. I'm taking a loan on it and I'm just getting it at 2% interest. That's all.
Wow.
Okay. Then what I did, I didn't touch my pension, which was coming, and I let it build up to 5 lakhs. So I had a manual system, I had a hydraulic system, and I had an electro-hydraulic system. Because you don't know in which direction life can take you. Though I'm very fortunate being in the defense, the biggest fear everybody has medical expenditure, which for me and my family and my mother is taken care by the defense. But you never know, suddenly there is an emergency, what do you do then?
Yeah.
So there was an emergency fund and there was an extreme emergency fund. And now what happened was in the year 2020, during the pandemic, the mutual funds had a very big fall. In fact, like I took an example of 1 crore, that 1 crore had become close to 65 lakhs. So that means the fund value has reduced by 1 crore, 35 lakhs you're in loss. But the best part about this mutual fund was I was still getting my monthly exactly how it was. But they had reduced it a little. So that impacted, say, the 70,000 now has become 62,000. And in 2020, the government levied a 10% tax.
TDS. Yeah.
So now what 70,000 was planned to fill up the first box when it starts getting empty. So suddenly there is a gap of about 15,000. Now that is a challenge which is not been catered for.
Wow.
and the market will fall. We need to be prepared. So then I would always look at any financial instrument that was coming in the market, and I would love to read it, invest time in it, understand it to the extent possible with my understanding. I'm not a financial expert, but at least the basic rules are very, very strong and very rigid. Uh, at that point of time, a friend of mine introduced the technology of servers to me, and he said this is in what is called a buy and lease back model, the way Indigo runs their aircraft. In the
Yeah.
similar way, Indigo doesn't own the aircraft. He
Yes.
pays a rental to the person who has bought the aircraft
Yes.
for the lifelong, and he takes care of maintenance, everything, whether the aircraft goes empty or not. The person who has bought the aircraft gets his rental.
Yeah.
And being a rental income, there are a lot of advantages, especially when it's an equipment. If it is a property, the government takes away 10% TDS if the rental is beyond 15,000. But in an equipment, it is just 2%. Now, even if you're
Amazing.
getting 20,000 rupees, you're just paying 200 rupees. It doesn't actually pinch you. Yeah, of course, it's a different story. How do you adjust that 20,000 in your income tax and get it back?
Yeah.
But that's another very big area which I, very strongly focused, and I don't pay any income tax. I mean, I pay income
Wow.
tax.
Yeah.
I pay income tax definitely.
And you
Like
claim the refund.
I get more than the refund always because the government takes 2 months, so he pays me on that also.
Yeah, the interest are amazing.
So generally the TDS is around 65,000 based on my pension,
Yeah.
and I get a refund of 72,000 or 70,000. So I ensured every section of the income tax return. I've got it in my mind how to do it,
Wow.
because it is important. You can't lose that money at this when you are in a stage like this. Uh, so I homed on to this server thing, as it is with my background of missile technology, where they are using a very, very advanced kind of a server inside the submarine itself to transmit data from the fire control computer to inside the missile. Now, when you are doing this kind of a very sensitive information, because if there is an error or there is a problem in the transmission of the data, you can imagine what havoc will happen, because once you fire the missile, you cannot do anything with it. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. So, Mumbai, Pune, where does it go then? So, so it needs to be a very, very strong system, and the Russians are using an extremely complicated server system. So I had very good understanding of this. So when I took a look at this, it just took me about 1 or 2 days to understand the type of technology he was using, and I was really amazed at. I didn't know that commercially also there is so much of advancement in the way data can be stored so accurately that when it comes and goes, there is no data loss. There is no error which can happen, and
Yeah.
this is a very unique system which they are using, and that is the reason they have a cutting edge advantage over other systems. So I then slowly I involved my company secretary, my chartered accountant, to study the history of the company, to get out, to do their financial audit, basically. Duncan and Breast and things like that. They did all that. They were very kind to me. They have been very helpful. And then I did a little study on the promoters, and I was surprised that they have so much of passion for this kind of work. Not now, from over last 40 years. They were in fact, the chairman brought the cable TV technology came because of him. He was associated with Ministry of Information Technology. Then I put some money and put it there. So now what was happening was that 70,000 became 55,000. Now I'm not able to fill up one box. Now how do I take care of the next semester's fees or third semester's fees? Because I planned it like this: first box, first semester, then the first box should be ready by the third semester. And Now, with just 15 lakhs, I was getting a rental of 55,000. So I did a
Wow.
massive comparison,
Yeah.
how this was happening
Yeah.
with mutual funds, with retirement
Yeah.
benefit fund, uh, with shares. I did a very deep study and formulated everything for my understanding first.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what happened was my box was getting filled peacefully. I don't have to wait for the third semester. By the second semester, I'm ready. So, and I then had a lot of discussion with them that this is a very beautiful system. You should take it to people, because there are a lot of people like me who may be stuck in. Okay, I have done at least little work. There are some people, these kind of things hit them unaware, and suddenly, and the financial insecurity and health insecurity are the two things that will kill a person. And I have seen so much happening, especially when you reach the retirement age, because there is no support. It is unlike the previous 40, 50 years back, when the children used to live with the parents and look after them. Today we cannot expect them. We should not we have to let them fly. We have to stand for ourselves today, and it is only we who can do something about it. It should not depend on children. It is their life. And so I started, and a couple of my friends were also in the same stage where their children wanted to go abroad, and I used to ask them, "Yeah, how are you doing this?" Yeah, though I have two bank loans ready with me from two banks. They're ready. I have not touched it, because there's so much of bureaucracy and red tapeism. It's better to use your own funds. I have a good system now. So I, one of my friends asked me, "How did you do it then?" I said, "See, this is what I did, and I'm really satisfied. I'm no tension at all. Uh, I can peacefully do my work with in the 6 a.m. club, no distractions." So uh, he said, "What is it? You tell me." I said, "This is the thing. This is the thing." In 20 minutes, he invested 9 lakhs. He bought a server, a part of the server.
Wow. Yeah.
And the beauty of this whole thing is, this particular program is part of a corporate social responsibility of what the company is doing. The
Wow.
main job is to install data edge centers, hundreds of
Yeah.
server infrastructure. And to make it available to a common man, they have brought this model into small pieces. 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, full server, 120 terabytes, depending on the capacity and requirement and usability of the person. So, and this is how the that gentleman got very much benefited with this. He had a special issue, and and thanks to the your uh, influence, the influence of our community, which got me out of that tension of how do I tell somebody a good thing, uh, and in the last 2 months, I have very peacefully, very comfortably, without any tension, I have done about 1.5 CR. Uh,
A lot of
for
people are saying in the chat, I wish I could clap for this online. Amazing.
and the month of May is already ready with another 1.5 CR.
Wow, man. Crazy
So,
level stuff.
and
Single handed sales.
actually, it is very easy to tell somebody, but I don't know. There are so many internal, resistances, and really thankful to uh, Dr. Rajat for breaking those barriers. In fact, I call my institute the Oasis of Enlightenment, and below that I write breaking barriers. And I had so many issues, though. So that's how the entire thing happened, and now the company was really surprised that how I have become a top earner from but it has really helped a lot of people. I'm glad. I'm really thankful that I was able to help out few people who were living out of their, interest from FD, and in that stage of 65, 70 years old, and with the cost going up, they used to take a loan from the FD, live and pay back interest also. Now, how long is that going to last? The costs are
Yeah.
going up today. When we pray to God, we put this puja oil. The cost of that oil has gone up from 100 rupees a bottle to 200 rupees a liter to a bottle. Now, a person who is religious, it's a very emotional thing for him to say, "No, I will not buy puja oil tomorrow." Because see, people, I mean, it is very,
Close to the heart.
how is this person going to survive?
Yep.
So I was thankful that they really told me everything, and I charted out a personal, financial planning for them. And today, that person is debt free.
Wow. Amazing.
The problem now is that he's unstoppable. He said, "I want to remove all the FDs and buy more particles." I'm a little scared now. I said, "Maybe don't do like that. Do it slowly. How much you need to take?" I mean, there are some people who have taken a loan of 15 lakhs and done this. Now that gives me, I mean, but logically that's perfect for that gentleman. He thought it beautifully, like Robert Kiyosaki. He didn't use his money. He used the
Yeah.
bank's money. He's paying an EMI of 1 lakh. He's getting a rental of 1,60,000.
Yeah, money is freely available.
Yes.
So amazing, amazing. So just for our listeners and watchers, real quick, Commander Prakash, in addition to giving us time, also has allotted certain number of hours for us and our community. So if you're in the Startup Frat Hangout and you're watching this, you can just head over to startupfrat.club/CDR Prakash. That's Commander Prakash. So you have startupfrat.club/CDR Prakash, and you'll be able to book a slot on his calendar. You'll be able to see his calendar and probably book a slot on it. Let me just see if I can share this screen properly. Um, Give me just a second. Yeah, you can just see this particular screen. That's his calendar right there. He's got few slots open. So if you head over to startupfrat.club/CDR Prakash, that's startupfrat.club/Commander Prakash, and his number is his number is also being displayed as 92466 21858. You can absolutely learn about these newer options of partnering with companies where you can be a buy and lease back partner for newer technologies. And he's really been helping a lot of people get out. If they were in a financial mess, then get out of a financial mess. And if they were looking for extra income or passive income for, either post retirement or they had some family requirements coming up, then he's really helped them, just get ahead of that. So if you, so for a few slots, if you want a free consultation on how to plan your finances, your family's finances, then startupfrat.club/CDR Prakash, that's Commander Prakash, and then 92466 21858. All right, let's get back. So now with both the stories that you have enlightened us, Commander Saab, what is the one core? Now the retirees, the population is on one side. Now we have in our hangout, we have the actual commission sellers and people who are probably into either health related products or into financial products. What is like the one core problem that you have been able to solve for your clients, that one core transformation you've been able to bring in yourself, and one advice you would give to the people who are probably in your position? They're also trying to they have commission products at the back end and they're trying to promote them or something. What is the aha advice or aha moment you'd like to give?
Okay. So one core problem which we can solve for the client is that, see, I would like to motivate all the product sellers, whether it is their product or a third party product, to go deep and study the problem and become the true bridge between their current level of understanding and what is the requirement of the product to become product ready. Because unless you don't go deep into it, you're not really going to solve the problem. Uh, the other, uh, the main another issue which needs to be looked at very carefully is, you need to take a multi-tier approach, which is very important, especially when we are looking at the health industry. Uh, the multi-tier approach is extremely important because the body is very complicated. You can't go to solve one problem and think that another problem will not come up. It will come up because, Dr. B. M. Hegde says, uh, every pill has an ill, but the vice versa is not true. So you say a person is having hypertension, blood pressure, and he's been prescribed a statin. I'll guarantee you 60% of the people who are on statins for more than 1.5 years will become diabetic.
Wow.
No doubt. You can see the history of so many people. The statistics will reveal itself because
Amazing.
this is going to happen. So we need to look at the body, in a very different way. We should not be doctors because we are not. That is not correct. Okay, ethically, legally, you cannot become a doctor. You cannot start prescribing things. But we need to look at it from the nutrition point of view, from the nutrients point of view, the technology point of view, so that the body needs a holistic solution. For example, like if a person wants to learn English, he cannot tell you that I only want to learn grammar bus and मेरे को English आ जाएगी. It doesn't work like that. You have to start with ABCD pronunciation. There's a process. There's a process, and it involves everything. So the body also needs to be looked after in that way. You need your micronutrients properly. You need your macronutrients properly. You need them in the right quantity. You cannot, if the body requires 6 grams of vitamins and you feed it 100 grams, now what's going to happen is over a period of 1 month, where your body required 180 grams, you are giving your body 3 kg. Your liver is going to really have a party and he's going to start releasing sugar and cholesterol into the blood. So this, in that continue the three-tier approach is very important. For that is one thing I would definitely like to. Uh,
So people who are wanting to get into, probably either looking at newer technologies for health, because now we have so much available. The medical science itself has improved so much in last 10, 20 years. But a lot of people are still kind of set in their age-old ways, although the ways are not working. So what are some of the internal or external fears that you encounter when you're talking to people in the field, when you have potential clients in front of you? What are some of the internal fears, external fears that you encounter? And what is like the basis of those fears?
one of the main fears is lack of awareness. Uh, Not that they don't want to be aware. Situation never permitted them to become aware of the situation. Most of the people are so busy that these things hit them suddenly, and then they're not aware what is available, and there is so much of overload of information. They're definitely scared to try new things at that stage in life. So, a new technology, is it working? Has it worked before? See, these are the questions which come up. Incidentally, the NTC has been around for 29 years.
Wow.
It is in 40 countries.
Wow.
And I think it is the top 10 best selling in the world uh, networking ranking,
Wow. Amazing.
but people don't know about it. So these are the challenges which, and it is very natural that, but once you make them aware, I find that they take it very nicely, but it has to be done in a way that I have learned in startup frat. I I really remember one Dr. Wolfgang. He's a doctor of biology from Germany. He's about 72 years old, and whenever he comes to India, he definitely invites me for his seminar.
Wow.
He was being a doctor of biology for so many years. He said, when I got introduced to this NTC, I didn't want it because I'm a doctor. But when he started it, he found, and he didn't want to undergo any surgery. No, the two contradicting issues. He said, when I used to talk to my people, I used to go into the biology. Nobody will understand anything. But when I would say, when I drink this, I'm very strong. And when I drink this, I sleep like a baby. Everybody would understand it. So once the understanding is clear, then people are, you know, taking a step. And once they taste, like when a lion tastes blood, he doesn't want to drink milk now. So it,
So true, so true. Finally, I think talking about industry trends, would you say that we are coming to a point where individuals have the power to make the choices, to make the correct choices, and they have the choice in their hand. It's probably only up to them how open, how fast they kind of adapt and
great.
accept. Yeah.
No, very true. The most important thing is that we have to fend for ourselves. Health and finance. Undoubtedly, we should get out of this myth of what we would have seen when we were children. We have to be practical in life. I mean, another thing is that there is no harm in saying I don't know. There is no there is no point of having an ego problem with yourself. We should accept, if we don't know, we don't know, and we learn. There is nothing we can't keep. That is a very big challenge which stops people from taking decisions. And I think that's a very logical thing. You have an ego problem with somebody else, no problem. You do your fighting stuff, but with yourself, what is there an ego with yourself? Because at the bottom of it, deep inside your mind, you don't know this. So this is one thing we should come out of it. I mean, we are all matured adults, seeing life, all this. We are seeing so many things. We should not get stuck on these kind of issues.
Great point, sir. Great point. So let me quickly ask you, what were like some of your own barriers that you were able to, you were able to take care of, or you were able to, kind of excel over after coming into the startup frat community?
The first thing was I thought I could never do sales, and until I learned how. I mean, once you become an authority, then it becomes seamless. It just flows. That was one thing which I learned uh, through a beautiful system that you have created. Another challenge was that I can talk on a webinar, I can give lectures, but I was very scared to make a selfie video. And I'm so thankful, to the community, which is so important, and the way you have conceived it, and not only that, you have put it into action. Help comes is just a click away, and that was another area which was very difficult for me because I didn't understand how what needs to be done. Why should I make a selfie video? Another thing is the philosophy of how it is to be done was not clear to me, and the importance of a community. See, this is a very specific, unique kind of a thing, practical. The importance of a community cannot be overlooked at all. It has to be paramount. Meeting such wonderful people, each one an expert in his own field. The best part is that even if you don't know how to do a business, the system that has been created by Startup Rat brings out that passion which is lying deep inside you and shows you that, yeah, you love this. Why don't you do this? And it is very natural. If you love something, you'll excel in it. You'll get involved. You'll get you know uh, that's very natural. That is a very important thing. And another area which was very confusing to me, because I'm working in so many different areas, is how to structure it neatly. See, there needs to be a way it is to be structured and it has to flow smoothly. Uh, so these are some of the few important areas where, which I'm indebted.
Thank you. Thank you. We are actually super proud to have you among us, super blessed to have people like you in the community. You can see people mentioning in the chat already. Yeah, I think your calendar is going to be booked big time. Amazing. Thank you so much. So let's quickly have a quick one liner on your personal life. Who is Commander Prakash in his personal life? And how does his day go? Apart from enlightening a lot of people on how to manage their wealth and how to improve their health, and how do you spend your day, and how are you at home?
Uh, Actually, I previously I love to read and watch movies also.
Amazing.
And I used to play a lot of games. I am a state swimmer.
Oh my God.
I have represented my district for badminton. I
अब सर,
have
आप ये नए नए आप जो डेटा पॉइंट बताएंगे तो आज ये इंटरव्यू खत्म नहीं होगा. पीपल
sorry
आर नॉट
sorry.
गोइंग टू लीव यू. नाउ वी गोना हैव रिक्वेस्ट सेइंग प्लीज हैव अ स्टोरी अबाउट हिज स्विमिंग करियर आल्सो. Amazing. How so you are truly a superman. You're a superman and a super celeb. For sure.
I used to play sports, but I don't now. I mean, and I love to read books. I have got a collection of books. I've got a collection from my childhood of over more than 1,000 books. I've got 20 boxes full of books, documents, and other things. I have read most of the books of Robert Kiyosaki, Robin Sharma, uh, uh, and a couple of more very good authors like this. I never miss a movie like, an action movie like, the Born Identity series. And
Absolutely.
I love to, movies like, Lucy, where they talk about a lot of genetics is there in
Yes,
that.
yes,
Very
yes.
amazing the capacity of the human brain, and Clint Eastwood from my childhood. Of course, James Bond is there, but I don't. Now, of course, I'm more reading into professional things, but I would always a couple of years I would make it a point in 1 week one book.
Wow,
One
amazing.
week one book.
That's
Somehow I would manage it and read it. Uh, I don't listen to much of music. Yeah, I do like certain things like which people don't may not appreciate. I love to listen to Russian songs. I don't know how
oh,
I deal with
beautiful.
that. I can sing Russian. I can't sing a Hindi song, but I can sing a Russian song.
Lovely stuff.
And uh, at home, of course, most of the time, I mean. Right now, of course, my wife is not here. So if you see my house, it'll look more like a workshop. And my wife has not seen it. Otherwise, my work generally involves around this activity. My whole day goes in, doing a lot of experimentation in writing down. I have got more than 2,000 pages of notes only on my mother.
Wow.
I gave her insulin. I gave her this to eat. This is what happened. Why did it happen? I mean, this is where my time goes. And If my computer gets spoiled, I open it up and set it up. So
Amazing.
this is
I
the
think we've learned a lot, not only about the make money side and the get healthy side, but also how to take care of your near and dear ones. If you have the journaling on everything that they are, eating, drinking, etc., then that is amazing. That is granular level of detail, amazing. So I think all of us have learned amply today that if you want to get into anything as a business, become the number one authority. First of all, study it to the T. When you meet prospects, give them the best options, give them all their options, even if they are not your product. You should have
yeah.
so much knowledge that a person automatically treats you as the best person to take advice from. Would you agree, Kawanda sir?
Can I add one small thing? I know I have
Absolutely.
already. But this the reason I want to add this. This is really for our next generation. Uh, in our lives, we become so busy that we don't share our experiences with our children, or sometimes it may be embarrassing to share it. Either way, we may be failed. We may I failed so many times. I'm not ashamed of saying that. But what I have learned from it is really strong, and I teach my daughter everything. I tell her everything, though she doesn't have time, but at least she's aware. I share with her everything, including nanotechnology, including micronutrients. Whenever there is a time, I mean, especially about finance,
Wow. Yep.
that is extremely important. Uh, my daughter has no tension that she knows my father will do something and ensure that my education will not stop. She knows it, but at the same time, I put her under tremendous pressure to understand how to work money and how to make that money work extremely hard for you. So she knows exactly what happens in the mutual fund, how my father's money, went up and down, and how the loss came and how he did it. I share all this small information with my wife and my daughter. So my wife doesn't have intention; she's a new teacher. Then how a data aid center works, or some other, I mean, another financial instrument. Like I told her I'm going to remove my money from my pension fund. She said, Papa, pension fund. I said, yeah, 5 lakh rupees is going to give me 2,000 rupees a month. It doesn't make sense. I would rather put it in a mutual fund. See, at least she has that appreciation now. Yes, it's making sense. Okay, 10 years back it was a good thing. Today it's not. So we have to change our mindset depending on the scenario. And our children need to be educated. Uh, like they say, the day you can make your child stand on their own foot at the earliest, financial education, and life education, basically, your job is done on this planet. If But it is very important we don't talk to our children and share these things, and they have wonderful ideas. So after listening to all this, just before my daughter went to US, she bought me a gift. She bought me a t-shirt, and I didn't understand what is written on it. I've not worn it because that thing is, while pressing, it got a little damaged. It was written here, Dad, DAD, and below that it was written BANK. For a long time, I didn't understand what it is. Then she's telling me, Papa, mera bank hai na. So, no, the bank doesn't only mean money; it means everything.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes, yes.
so kindly, my humble request is to everybody: take out a little time. At least, share your failures with your children. That is the most important thing, so that they don't get into that problem tomorrow. Thank you. Sorry.
Great, great, great. This has been a 7-star experience. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All right, so that was great. And anybody who wants to connect with Commander Saab, just head over to startupfrat.club/CDR Prakash, that's /Commander Prakash, and 92466218858 WhatsApp number. just feel free to reach out to him. If you're part of the Hangout, he has already pledged certain time for us to enrich all of us with his knowledge and advice. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Commander Saab. Look
Thank
forward to
you.
meeting you in the 6 a.m. club and in our masterminds. Look forward to meeting you. Thank you so much for your time and
Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
giving
Thank
us.
you, Dr. Sam. Thank you. It's an honor. It's a great privilege that you have given me. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, guys, over and out. Let me just end the stream.